All right, motherfucks. I can't believe I'm saying this, but these last few weeks, I have actually quite enjoyed AEW. That's right, motherfucks. I never thought I'd say this. I never thought the day would come, but they have stepped it up in a big way. I gotta say it. You know, number one, the tribute to Brody Lee was good. You know what I'm saying? We've already talked about it, but I gotta just mention it again. It was a great tribute. It was very classy, right? They gave Brody's son the title, and this week I saw that on AEW Dark or whatever, they had Brody's son, like, you know, talk shit about Marco Stunt, which I thought was really cool too, because he's a kid and he was doing really well for a kid. You know, I thought he was great. You know what I mean? Brody Lee, really sad, all of us, I'm sure, about his passing, and they handled that with class. You know what I mean? So you gotta give credit where credit's due. You know what I mean? Even Cucky Rhodes came through. You know, he did put himself in the center of the wrestlers when they were mourning him. He still has a little bit of Cucky Rhodes in him even that night, but he did come through. Then this week, or last night I should say, AEW was great. You know, I watched both New Year's Evil, which I thought was shit, right? Like, no one's good in NXT. NXT is shit. Like, by the way, let's talk about that for a second, because I know everyone loves Karrion Kross. I don't know, maybe my eyes were deceiving me, motherfucks, but I saw Karrion Kross versus the much, much better Damian Priest, in my opinion, right? Damian Priest is awesome, right? Now, okay, fine. You like Karrion Kross more, I like Damian Priest more. Who cares, right? Some people love Karrion Kross, good for them. You know, I don't particularly hate him as much as I used to, until last night, right? He hits a backdrop, and then does like a Northern Lariat, Bobby Roode's finishing move in like TNA 2005, right? He does like a clothesline to the back of the head of what's his face? Fucking Archer guy. Where the fuck is Damian Priest? There you go. The Archer guy. You know what I'm saying? He does a clothesline to the back of his head and pins him with that. Are you fucking kidding me? You know, is this guy like the king of shitty moves? You know, he has a shitty backdrop. He has a shitty like excuse for a rear naked choke. The cross jacket. It's a fucking rear naked choke. You know, Kirifuda clutch, everyone. You know? And now, I'm thinking, all right, he's been gone for a while. You know, he has to reestablish himself. He has to come up with a new finisher. I don't know, maybe something where he lifts a guy, not like lifts him and like snap slams him into like Saito suplex. It's a fucking backdrop. Call it what it is. You know, it doesn't look any more devastating than when Dolph Ziggler does it. You know, and you're not gonna ever convince me that like the backdrop suplex done that way hurts more than someone picking someone straight up and dropping them like Chad Gable used to do. You know, absolutely not. That's fucking retarded, right? So I'm thinking to myself, all right, maybe this bastard will come up with a new finisher or something. He did, motherfucks. It's now a clothesline. His finisher is a shitty clothesline to the back of someone's head. It's not even like a JBL clothesline from hell, because JBL was a big boy. You know, JBL would beat the shit out of this guy in 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? This guy is like 6'3", like he's a big guy, obviously, you know, but he's not JBL sized. He's like 6'3", 260 pounds, maybe 250 pounds, right? Big guy by all accounts, right? So, but his clothesline didn't look like a JBL clothesline from hell either. It was a piece of shit move, man. It was, I might even say it's one of the worst finishers I've ever seen in my life. Now, there is a possibility, because I was making myself some food while watching this match. So it's possible that I missed some sort of spot. Maybe he hit Archer Boy, fucking Damian Priest, with like a chair or something to the head, or weakened his neck somehow, or maybe a story was told, or maybe the match didn't end the way I'm saying it ended. But the way I remember it, right, again, I wasn't paying full attention, he does a clothesline to the back of the guy's head and wins. Like, how can anyone like this guy? I mean, like, I don't understand how anyone could dislike Nakamura, but like this guy. At least the Kinshasa looks like a better finisher than this shitty clothesline. You know, this guy is Nakamura. He's got like one suplex move, right? One running strike move, and one submission move. That's all this guy does. Oh, but he's got Scarlett Bordeaux, who, by the way, had a scar on her eye. It was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. It reminded me of Christopher Daniels. Remember when Christopher Daniels came back in like 2008 or some shit like that in TNA, and he had this eye like paint, right? And it was the dumbest shit you ever seen in your life. You're like, what the fuck is this guy doing, man? Like, just stick to your horse shit. Remember when Christopher Daniels came back again with the eye thing and then also a beard? Stick to your horse shit. It's like when Samoa Joe came out with that cock tattoo thing that he had on his face. It looked like a fucking mule right on his face, you know? And it's the same guy. It's the same fat fuck. He's not doing anything. But now he's got a mule on his face. Looking like a dick. Looking like a mule up in this, right? And then like, all of a sudden he feels reinvented. No, motherfucks. Absolutely not. I demand more, and so should you. You know what I'm saying? So should you. Karrion Kross ain't getting it done, motherfucks. He should come back and go directly to the main event. He shouldn't have to go through this jobber, Damian Priest, right? Now, like I said, I like Damian Priest, but let's be real. This guy's been treated like a jobber. He's out there wrestling Leon Ruff. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here, you know? Like, Karrion Kross should go out there, slam this guy 3 times, right? Hit his new finisher and pin him, 1, 2, 3. Or maybe hit his new finisher and then put the cross jacket on, or something. But instead, they have a competitive match, which ends with a clothesline finish. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, anyone thinks this guy's gonna be the next big thing still? You know? This guy has Ezekiel Jackson written all over him. He will be like a one-time Intercontinental Champion, and then he'll go to like AEW as like Killer Crook or something. Maybe Killer Cuck while we're at it. You know what I'm saying? This guy has Ezekiel Jackson and Vladimir Kozlov written all over him. You know? But it is what it is. This mini rant on Karrion Cuck can be done another time. You know what I'm saying? I hope, for his sake, that shit turns around. I hope that he understands that a clothesline finisher ain't gonna cut it. You know what I'm saying? I wish him well, because he seems like a guy that at least works hard. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell this is a guy that works hard. Like, but I just think he lacks the direction to understand what is and is not entertaining. Now, I understand a lot of NXT fans, a lot of wrestling fans have high hopes for this guy. But in my opinion, they will turn on him quickly. They will turn on him just like they turned on Dolph Ziggler. Just like they turned on all the other jabrones that have no direction. Or like Bobby Roode. Remember Bobby Roode? Everyone was like, oh, Bobby Roode, next Triple H. Now everyone's okay with Bobby Roode being the next Breezango. You know what I'm saying? Nobody hopes that Bobby Roode becomes the next Triple H anymore. Right? Because they see him now and they're like, oh, he ain't that great actually. He has no direction. You know, changing your facial hair isn't a new gimmick, cucks. You know? So there you go. That's what I gotta say about Karrion Kross. And more importantly, that's what I have to say about New Year's Evil. All right? If that wasn't bad enough, the main event was Kyle O'Reilly again versus Finn Balor. This feels like a Superstars match, like a Saturday Night main event. Like, this doesn't feel like a pay-per-view level match. You know what I mean? I didn't enjoy this at all. It was just a bunch of bullshit. It was just another Finn Balor match. Kyle O'Reilly, I've always liked him. You know, he's always been one of the ones that I liked in the Indies, because I believe that his wrestling style is realistic. Like, a guy like him would wrestle like that, you know? But it wasn't enough to beat Finn Balor. Like, what the fuck? I'm done with Finn Balor, man. Get rid of this motherfucker, you know? Then we have Shotzi Blackheart come out, and it's like her and Kushida versus The Way. I mean, I think we can all agree that The Way is probably one of the worst factions in the history of factions. What the fuck is The Way? It's like 2 weird broads, right? A tiny, tiny Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory, who may have a future in this business if it weren't for the fact that he's now attached to these 3 jabrones. You know, Austin Theory actually has what it takes. Like, he's athletic, he's young, he's good looking, he's got the tools to do something, right? So I'm like, all right, I watched this first, because the way that Hulu Live TV with DVR, the cocksuckers, work is that, like, when I record both NXT and horseshit AEW, right, and I watch NXT, I have to watch commercials, even though I have the no ads version, right? When you DVR this motherfucker, you have to watch basically every commercial. But with AEW, it's not like that for some reason. Maybe TNT is a better deal. So what I tried to do was watch NXT live, right? Like, watch it on delay, so it's not that big of a deal while I do other shit, and then switch over to AEW later at night, which is what I did. I switched over to AEW, and I'm like, okay, NXT was shit. AEW is usually shit, so it's probably going to be even worse. I turn it on, first match starts, right? First of all, we have Team Old Bags, right? We have Team Old Bags, fucking SCU. All right, Daniels, I love him. I love Daniels, one of my favorites ever. One of my favorites ever, Daniels, in terms of like indie wrestlers, of course, right? But he comes out, Kazarian comes out, and I'm like, all right, either do something with these guys or like release them straight up, because I really think that they're just being misused, you know? Like, you have a lot of teams that are in that category, right? Like, AEW only pushes like 1 or 2 teams. So it was what it was. They come out with the young cucks, right? And then as soon as I saw this, I knew what was going to happen. Hybrid 2 comes out. So I'm like, all right, whatever team Hybrid 2 is on is 100% losing. Like, I don't give a shit if it's the first Impact of the year. They're losing. Hybrid 2 is not starting out with a win. They're Hybrid 2. They're the hybrid jobbers, right? So they come out, and my heart nearly breaks when I see that the people that they are wrestling are Hybrid 2 and the Acclaimed. First of all, again, I have to reiterate, the Acclaimed are fucking tight, all right? The Acclaimed are awesome. They come out, the rapper guy, like Max Caster, I think his name is, that guy does like another shitty rap. Like, he's not a good rapper. You know, that's the thing. He's not clever enough. He's not like, he doesn't have like the flow that a good rapper has. Like, he's like substantially worse than even John Cena. However, that, in my opinion, that almost like adds to his charm, right? Because he's a shitty rapper, it adds to his charm. It adds to the fact that he's like a rookie. You know, like John Cena, the reason why he got over was because for some reason, even though he was a rookie, he didn't feel like a rookie. You know, remember that shit, motherfuckers? Remember John Cena when he was like taken out by Brock Lesnar and he came back wearing pinwheel hats and he was like, I'm coming after you, Brock, you broke my neck. You know, it felt like Taka Michinoku was going after The Undertaker. You know what I mean? Except for the fact that all of a sudden Taka Michinoku is cool. You know, that's what I felt when I saw Cena. I was like, holy shit, this is like an undercard, lower card guy, right, who got injured in a throwaway match against the world champion and is coming after him. You know, because that's one thing in wrestling that kept going for a long, long time, right? Where like, I don't know, like The Rock would beat the shit out of like Funaki, right? And suffer no consequences for it. Like The Rock would beat the shit out of Gilbert, suffer no consequences for it. Like Gilbert never had the balls to go after The Rock. Like the only people that went after each other were people in the same level, right? So like a main eventer would go after a main eventer. You know? A mid-carder would go after a mid-carder or lower, right? But it never worked the other way. This was great when John Cena went after Brock Lesnar because it was like, yo, I'm an undercard guy, but you're not gonna fucking get away with breaking my neck, motherfucker. You know, that's why it felt great, right? This feels different. The Acclaimed feels different. The Acclaimed feel like they're rookies, right? They don't feel like they're these tough guys that should be beating the Young Bucks. Like, they're talented guys, and I like them. But the rapper guy is a shit rapper. He stumbles his lines. Half the shit doesn't rhyme. You know what I'm saying? He's not good. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It comes off like as it should, in my opinion, right? It comes off as like a guy who's like, I don't want to say insecure, but a guy who's like overcompensating. And because he's a heel, that's how it should come off. It should come off as these two guys who are like overly arrogant and are overcompensating when in fact they're losing to people like the Young Bucks because the Young Bucks are a quote-unquote veteran tag team. You know what I mean? So there you have it. This match was all right. Everything considered, it was all right. One cool thing that happened was they win the match with the best Meltzer ever. Now, in ROH, I believe it was, Kazarian and Daniels feuded long-term with the Young Bucks. And one of the moves that they used was the best Meltzer ever, which is basically like the same thing as the Meltzer driver, except instead of doing a front flip, Daniels does the BME and spikes the guy down. So they used that move, but instead of Kazarian and Daniels, it was Matt Jackson and Daniels, which I thought was cool. You know, it was a good way to end the match, and it was good to see Daniels pick up a win, start the year off the right way. Daniels, in my opinion, is a guy that should be feuding consistently for the mid-card belt. That's what should happen. Like, they should bring back Scorpio Sky. Daniels should be feuding for the mid-card belt, and Kazarian and Scorpio should be in the tag team scene, you know? Now that they're tag team champions from before. So there you have it. That match is pretty cool. Now, other notable moments from that night, not even just from AEW, but one thing that I want to talk about real fast, it's Xia Li and the other guy, the other Chinese guy, all right? I don't know where this is going, but I am inherently interested. Now, if they take off all this martial arts nonsense from it, I think it'd be much better because it's just two Chinese people, right? Presumably bonding over some Chinese shit. You know what I'm saying? And that bald guy coming out in a suit looks badass, right? He looks like a fucking triad, you know? That's fucking dope if you ask me. Xia Li comes out looking great. She's got the little red veil thing, which makes her look feminine, and it's like interesting, it's intriguing, right? And then she pulls out two little Psy things and starts doing martial arts. What the fuck is this shit? No, you know? Either dark and mysterious or martial arts jobber. You pick one, you know? I personally would prefer dark and mysterious. The match she had with the fat girl, the fat indie wrestler, was irrelevant. Nobody gave a fuck about that. She kicked the fat girl in the face, which was cool, but the match itself wasn't fantastic, right? It's not like Xia Li proved anything. That's one thing I hate about these little arcs, where they like take someone and they're like, now they're a new person, and they're gonna prove themselves against this indie wrestler. You know, what the fuck is that? Go prove yourself against Raquel Gonzalez. Speaking of which, I missed that match, but I heard it was good. You know what I'm saying? Back to AEW though, because AEW was tight. You know what I'm saying? One thing happened that was garbage though. Total garbage. One of the worst segments in AEW history. And that was when Taz, Team Taz, or whatever the fuck they're called, came out and did a weigh-in against Darby Allin. This is a waste of everyone's time, right? Darby Allin being weighed in is a waste of everyone's time, as is Brian Cage being weighed in. Just have a damn match. Nobody cares about this, right? They have the weigh-in. Taz makes fun of Darby Allin for being like a small jobber, right? Darby Allin weighs in at 170 pounds, which is a 100% lie. Darby Allin is 135 pounds maximum, motherfucker. Maximum, not even that probably. He's probably like 100, 125. I'm not even joking. I have a friend who has the same body type as Darby Allin, and he's like 125 at best. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. But Darby Allin cuts the Darby Allin small guy promo of, I've been dealing with this my entire life. I'll show you. Shut the fuck up, you know? And then Taz, for the, like the 8th, 9th week in a row, Taz threatens to kick the shit out of Darby Allin with his team, right? Sting comes out. It's Sting! You know what I'm saying? Now, I knew when Sting came out that nothing would happen, right? I knew that Sting wouldn't attack anyone. All Sting has done now is come out looking old and have snow fall on his hair. It's snowing! Like, what the fuck? It's snowing! Shut the fuck up! It's snowing. Go fuck yourself, right? Sting comes out, does absolutely nothing, and I don't understand. Why doesn't anyone attack Sting? Just send Big Will Hobbs, whatever, Powerhouse Hobbs, to destroy them, and Brian Cage to destroy them, and nothing can stop those two guys. You know? It is what it is. JR says the worst line of the night. He says, I wish I could see their thought bubbles. I don't. What the fuck do you think Darby Allin and Sting are thinking? Sting's probably thinking, I can't believe my career has come to this. And Darby Allin's probably thinking, it's Sting! Who the fuck cares about these two jabrones, you know? So that segment was absolute horse shit, right? Then we had the return of Dean Ambrose. This also was shit. All of a sudden, now that I'm talking about this episode, I don't really like it as much anymore, motherfuckers. Maybe it sucked ass too. But Dean Ambrose comes out, and he's like, I'm Dean Ambrose. I haven't wrestled in about a month, right? You haven't seen me in about a month. But now I'm back to talk, right? What the fuck is that all about? What the hell is that all about? You tell me. You know what I'm saying? You tell me what that's all about. He comes back once a month just to talk, just to say that same horseshit he's been saying for the last like 5 years. Oh, I'm gonna come get you. Rollins, watch your back. It was the same promo he cut when Seth Rollins betrayed him and won the Money in the Bank. It was the same promo. It was like, you better keep one eye open at all times because Dean Ambrose is coming to get you. Yeah, right? Little shit. Nobody gives a fuck, you know? But it was what it was. He cut the shitty promo and he implied that he was not going to get involved in tonight's main event, which was between Kenny Omega and Rey Fenix, right? Because Rey Fenix has been working his way to this match for a long time. No, he hasn't, motherfucks. AEW's been around for like a year and a half. Right? Not even a year and a half. They've been around for like a year and 2 months. You know? So what the fuck has he worked himself towards? Nothing. Right? He's wrestled Kenny Omega several dozen times over the last few years in like Mexico wrestling or whatever the fuck it's called, and in the All Out show. Well, not All Out show, whatever the fuck it's called, the one that they did. You know, All In. There you go, All In. Right? They've wrestled each other like a million times last year. So to present this as if it's like some dream match is ridiculous. But nonetheless, AEW will do what AEW does. And they presented it exactly like that. They're like, oh, dream match. Some fans have been waiting for years for this. Like, no one cares. Rey Fenix was teaming up with Butcher and Blade 2 weeks ago. All of a sudden, he's a big star. The match was actually all right, though. I got to give props where props are due. I remember during this match thinking, Rey Fenix is the closest guy to Rey Mysterio. He, like, out of all the experiments of trying to find the next Rey Mysterio, WWE would have gotten the closest with Rey Fenix had they signed him. You know what I'm saying? Not Kalisto, not fucking Ricochet, Mucho Lucha, none of these jabrones. He would have gotten closest, they would have gotten closest, I should say, with Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix is awesome. He is like Rey Mysterio, not only in appearance, but in the fact that he does things that no one else does. Just like Rey Mysterio, when he started out, was doing things that were unthought of before. Right? Rey Fenix does that. He does crazy shit. You know? And I like the kid. And he's not like, he's like, I think he's toned down a little bit. But nonetheless, the match, you already know what's going to happen. You already know Rey Fenix is not beating Kuki Omega. Right? Eventually what happens is, Rey Fenix goes for like a corkscrew senton type thing to a standing up Kuki Omega, right? Kuki Omega, to his credit, catches Phoenix into the Tiger Driver 98, like in the air. Like it actually was impressive. You know, it proved that Kuki Omega is a strong dude. Because he caught him, like he didn't even flinch. He caught him, walks into the middle of the ring, while he's in the Tiger Driver 98 position, drops him with the Tiger Driver, then goes for the V-trigger, and pins him. 1, 2, kick out. Now, I understand this is not that big of a deal, but how the fuck is this guy kicking out of a Tiger Driver and a V-trigger? Right? Why? That would have been a perfectly acceptable finish to the match. He took 2 big moves, and they both looked like devastating, and that would have been that. No, he kicks out. Kenny Omega picks him up, hits the one-winged angel, which is less impressive than the Tiger Driver or the V-trigger, and wins with that instead. All right, whatever. The match was all right. Then Don Callis comes into the ring. The invisible hand, motherfuckers, comes to the ring and he starts cutting a promo. He's basically like, look backstage, and backstage, it's like Eddie Kingston and Bush and Bottom are beating up like Pac and Pentagon, right? So Phoenix is by himself, and he's like, all right, Kenny Omega, just put him out of his misery, you know? So this is like a legit heel turn. Like Don Callis wanted Kenny Omega to hurt and like end the career of Rey Fenix, which I think is great. You know, it's great. It actually adds some flavor to Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is going out there trying to fight him, right? And then Kenny Omega gets attacked by a few people. I don't remember who the first people were, but he gets they try to stop him, right? Someone tries to stop him. And what happens is the Good Brothers debut on AEW, right? The Good Brothers debut on AEW, beat the shit out of everybody, hit the magic killer on someone. You know, that was pretty cool. Just seeing them with Kenny Omega is pretty cool. It's like, it shows that like even years later, shit's kind of the same, you know? Long story short, a bunch of other jobbers come out to stop the assault of, Dean Ambrose comes out. That's what it was. Dean Ambrose comes out. I think he gets the magic killer, right? He comes with a barbed wire bat. Kuki Omega beats the shit out of him with the bat, right? Somehow he's not bleeding, his shirt's not getting torn up, whatever. I know it's a gimmicked bat, it is what it is. And then other jobbers come in, and it doesn't work out for them, right? Young Bucks come in and tease being the good guys. But it turns out they're bad guys, motherfuckers, and they join the Bullet Club, which reforms basically the real, not the real Bullet Club, but like probably the best version of the Bullet Club, right? I mean, the best version is the one with AJ Styles. But like once AJ Styles and Gallows and Anderson left, it wasn't Bullet Club anymore. Like Anderson was really, unfortunately, I had to say it, but it's true. Anderson really was the heart and soul of Bullet Club, you know, after Finn Balor left, I guess, right? So this felt great, and like, what's it called? The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the whole time, they presented themselves as different from the Bullet Club. So they did bring something to the table, you know? They also ruined Bullet Club, but it is what it is. So that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. They came out, beat the shit out of each other. You know, not each other really. It was more like a one-sided beatdown of the entire jobber roster. And all of a sudden, all these jobbers are out there trying to save Dean Ambrose. I don't know why, but they are nonetheless, right? So there you go, motherfuckers. Bullet Club is back. I thought that was cool. You know, it's not cool because like, you know, the band is back together. I don't give a shit about that. It's just cool because Gallows and Anderson are on Impact. So this is, I think, I could be wrong. I think the first faction to legit cross into different companies. You know what I mean? Like in actuality, not like Bullet Club. oh, Bullet Club was also in like ROH. That's not what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like Bullet Club is a New Japan faction that would go wrestle in ROH, just like, you know, like Okada would wrestle in ROH once in a while. But this is an actual faction where some members are signed to different companies, you know, which is pretty cool. I'd love to see where this goes. I'd love to see what this means for the tag team titles. I'd like to see, like, if this means that the Young Bucks are going to TNA again. That'd be pretty cool, I think. So, Generation Me, motherfucks, remember them? So, yeah, I thought this episode was good for that reason. It was bad for a lot of other reasons. But the final match was good, and the way the show ended was eventful. It was monumental. It wasn't like just a bunch of jabrones wrestling. It actually felt like a big deal, you know? And that's what wrestling is many times. Many times wrestling is creating a scenario that feels like a big deal. Creating a scenario where people want to watch next week. I want to watch next week. I have no desire to see what Kyle O'Reilly is going to do next because nothing happened and because Kyle O'Reilly sucks ass. But I do have a desire to see what's going to happen in AEW next week because a lot of shit unfolded. Primarily, I want to know what happens with Bullet Club. I want to know what Dean Ambrose is going to do because he got his ass beat. He's probably going to be gone for a couple of weeks because that's what he does. I want to see what Pac is going to fit into this whole thing because he was attacked, right, along with Phoenix and Pentagon. I want to see what this means for the Acclaimed motherfucks who are after the Young Cucks. You know, I want to see where this goes. I'm actually interested for the first time in a long time in wrestling, but also in AEW. For the first time ever, I'm interested in AEW. You know, like this, I said it a few weeks ago. You know, before Kenny Omega versus fucking Dean Ambrose, right? I said it. I said this is the turning point if they do it right. And thus far, I'm not saying that they made a turning point, but thus far they're doing it right. Thus far, they actually feel like they're growing into an identity of sorts, right? And here it is, motherfuckers. I'm not against AEW. You know, I think they should prove it. I'm all for good wrestling. I don't give a fuck if New Japan does it, if Big Japan does it, if Small Japan does it, if Fat Japan does it, if Cuck Japan does it. I don't give a fuck who does it. All I care is that we see good wrestling, you know? And if AEW is going to be the one that provides it, I will welcome it. I will welcome it and I will enjoy it, motherfuckers. If WWE does it, I'll enjoy that too. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Goldberg's back. That can't be that bad, right? Goldberg's back. I mean, it's getting a little annoying that Goldberg just comes back and gets title shots every year. But it is what it is, you know. We'll see. We'll see, motherfuckers. So there you have it. Good episode. I'm looking forward to next week. Good start to the year for AEW, you know. Good start to the year, I gotta say, except for, of course, the loss of Brody Lee. But beyond that, good start to the year. Also, Inner Circle needs to be over with. This shit's done. It was good to see Wardlow beat Jack Swagger because I like Wardlow. But I don't know how much longer I can tolerate this whole like dysfunctional family thing. Like, shut the fuck up. You know, either break up or do something. It's like 9 jobbers and Chris Jericho and Wardlow. Everyone else is shit. Like Jack Swagger, did anyone see how shitty Jack Swagger looked? Who is he fighting in Bellator? Who is he beating in Bellator? He looks like shit. He's got this weird shitty body. Like, it's fucking strange, man. He used to be a dude that was in really good shape. Maybe he doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's like, I'm done with MMA, so who the fuck cares, you know? But I've always liked Jack Swagger overall, and now this is my least favorite Jack Swagger. But at least he put over Wardlow, you know? It would have been bad to see Swagger win. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about that. See you guys later.